The story starts with a woman bringing twin babies into the world. The elderly midwife helping her says she must wait until sunrise. A woman holding a baby argues that the old woman is out of her mind, but she firmly repeats that they have to wait. It matters more than anything because these children are destined to rule over demons. When the twins are finally born, their father cannot hide his frustration. He demands to know what they have done and declares that the children who split night and day have arrived. 16 years go by, and we see that one of the twins is out hunting and manages to shoot down a bird. After securing his catch, he spots trails in the sky that clearly belong to dragons. Yuru then heads back to the village where his friend Danji welcomes him home. Danji complains that Yuru should have asked him to join the hunt and warns that if something bad happened, no one would have been there to back him up. Yuru brushes it off, saying the left and right guardians who protect the village would never let anything happen to him. Yuru is popular among the villagers, greeting everyone as he walks by. Danji's mother suddenly yells at her son for slacking off and says he should try being as hardworking as Yuru. Thinking about home, Yuru wonders how his sister Assa is doing, and Granny Yamaha mentions that she is busy working again. Yuru goes to visit Assa, who is oddly locked behind bars, and she happily calls out to her brother. She beams when she hears he caught a pheasant, though Yuru admits he wishes it had been something bigger. He is uneasy about the fields since the year has been dry, and he knows they need larger game to survive, and if things stay like this, winter will hit them hard with barely any food stored. Assa worries that he might have to leave the village for work like the other grown-ups, but Yuru reassures her that it will not come to that. That is why he keeps pushing himself to become a better hunter. If he can provide enough valuable meat, he will not have to leave for labor. Assa quietly hopes he is right, because she cannot bear the thought of him disappearing the way their parents did. Yuru tells her to relax and swears he will remain in this village as long as she is there, and nothing will ever make him change his mind, and he promises he will always protect her. Right then, Danji's mother calls out to Yuru and tells him that a man named Dara has come to town. Dara has returned with a large shipment of goods sent by those who left the village to work elsewhere. Life has been rough, and a sickness is spreading, and because of that, Dara announces that just for today he is buying medicinal herbs at a premium price. The villagers adore him and eagerly trade with him. Yuru then shows up and insists he does not need anything from Dara, but Dara sees through him, knowing that whenever Yuru says he wants nothing, he is probably hoping to get something without paying. Still, Dara is generous, so he hands Yuru a small gift anyway. After Dara walks off, Danji mutters that he wishes he could get out of the village as well. But Yuru isn't so sure that's smart, and he wonders if the world outside is really as great as people make it sound. Danji argues that the folks who leave for work never return. To him, that's proof the world down there has to be amazing. Yuru shakes his head and says he'd be fine living here his entire life. Danji then suggests they could run off together and bring Assa along, but Yuru immediately shuts that down, saying Danji would be a horrible role model for his sister. He reminds him that Assa carries a responsibility that actually matters. Danji points out he's never even laid eyes on her, and Yuru explains again that only a select few in the village are permitted to see his sister. They mess around a little longer, but the mood shifts the second a strange sound cuts through the air. Yuru figures it has to be dragons and gestures up at the sky. There's a clean streak of dragon gas trailing overhead, which makes sense. Danji frowns and says that isn't the usual noise they hear. This one sounds off. It's way louder, and he starts wondering if that means it's close. He's shaken, because neither of them has ever actually seen a dragon. All of a sudden, some unknown hand triggers something and the village is laid bare. The earth trembles, and even Dara feels it from his position. Yuru and Danji stare up in disbelief when they realize whatever's in the sky is much nearer now. Even more bizarre shapes appear above the village, and panic spreads instantly. No one has ever witnessed anything like this, and fear takes over. Deep in the forest, a squad of soldiers cuts down several villagers. Dara looks up at the sky and is suddenly struck by a shot. A few villagers turn to Yamaha, desperate for answers, and she grimly admits this is bad. The barrier protecting the village has been shattered, and they're all exposed. She has no clue how it happened, but she suspects the attackers came for Yuru. He has to be hidden at any cost, so she orders the others to bring him. At the same time, Yuru reaches the village gate, and Danji is horrified by the sight of so many fallen people. Yuru tells him to stick close, and they sprint toward home. They cross paths with unfamiliar figures who recognize Yuru and announce they've found their target. Yuru reacts fast and takes them down. leaving Danji stunned as he asks what just flew at them. Yuru doesn't have an answer, but he knows whatever it was could kill. They keep running, and Danji points out that the dragons are hovering near the outer edge. They look terrifying, and Yuru can't even tell if they're truly dragons. Danji wants to search for his mother, assuming Yuru will head for Assa. Instead, Yuru starts working on something and tells Danji to lend a hand. Together they reveal a hidden passage, and Yuru explains it's a shortcut. They slip into the tunnel, and all Yuru can do is hope his sister is safe. Meanwhile, in the village, an unfamiliar girl is suddenly set down, and she calmly greets everyone around her. The townspeople freeze in confusion, unsure how to react. The enigmatic girl softly utters the word gobble, and in an instant, one of the villagers is cleaved clean in two. The horror escalates as she activates her eerie gobble power on the others. With the faintest flick of her hand, bodies are carved apart like paper. It's a gruesome scene, and a small child is left sobbing for her mom. The strange girl remarks that she does not harm kids, then casually wipes out another villager. Her name is Gabby, and she reports that both the outer and middle zones are under control. Her task is complete, which means the ground units can move in. Still, Gabby frowns when the ground forces fail to answer her call. Deep in the forest, the reason becomes clear. Dara has already taken down the soldiers who attempted to ambush him. He casually considers his next move and pulls out his phone. The protective barrier has fallen, so he contacts someone named Hana. He updates her on the situation and informs her that they'll need to shift the meeting point. Dara seems to know more than he lets on, calmly stating that he believes Assa is somewhere nearby. Meanwhile, a woman forcefully drags Yamaha to Assa's location. When she sees Assa locked inside a cage, the truth dawns on her. She mutters that it's revolting and lifts her hand toward Assa. Assa trembles in fear as the woman unleashes her strange ability. The entire cell explodes apart, and Assa's life is abruptly extinguished. Yuru arrives at the worst possible second and is shattered by the sight of his fallen sister. He cries out for Assa, but it is the woman who answers him. She greets him warmly, calling him her brother and announcing that she has come for him. That is not all. She coldly reveals that she intends to wipe out everyone else as well. Yuru refuses to believe her words, insisting that she is not his sister. He charges at her to avenge the real Assa, but the girl swiftly blocks his attack. At the same time outside, Dara realizes that the enemies are posing as mountain rescue helicopters, so he immediately leaps into combat, cutting down several soldiers. He notes that he must stay cautious, as he cannot afford to have enemies tailing him from the air while he retreats. He soon crosses paths with Gabby and sarcastically compliments her on her terrifying teeth. Gabby is taken aback, impressed that he can somehow see them. The bizarre creature lunges at Dara, yet he proves far tougher than expected. Gabby then suspects he is the one responsible for eliminating the ground troops, but Dara has no interest in answering. With a smooth motion, he tosses a grenade and catches Gabby completely off guard. Meanwhile, with Yuru, the woman casually apologizes, claiming she only intended to snap his arrow. At that moment, the present Yuru had brought slips from his pocket, and it rolls toward Assa's body, and something unnatural stirs within her blood. The blood shifts shape, forming into a human-like figure that suddenly seizes the woman. Seizing the chance, Yamaha shouts for Dara to grab Yuru and escape. Dara appears in an instant and follows through without hesitation. Yamaha understands she cannot survive this fight, so she orders Dara to take refuge in the world below. She warns him that Yuru must never be found, and Dara firmly promises that he will make sure of it. Close by, Danji is assisting his mom when he notices Yuru being escorted away. The moment they step out of the tunnel, Dara makes it clear that they're heading down the mountain. He's caught off guard when he realizes Yuru can barely process what's happening around him. Dara tries to shake him back to reality, but it's already too late. They've been spotted, and their window to escape has slammed shut. Sniper shots start cracking through the air, and if that monster locks onto them too, they're completely screwed. But Yuru can't move past the fact that Assa is gone, and he's spiraling so hard that he convinces himself he saw her twitch just before they left. The guilt eats at him because Granny was left behind too, and he keeps replaying that woman's words in his head. The way she calmly said she'd wipe everyone out even though they'd done nothing wrong. There's no time for a full explanation, so Dara pulls out a pendant engraved with the left and right guardians of the village. He tells Yuru to use left and right, but Yuru just stares at him, confused. Dara quickly clarifies that there's a gap between the two statues and that Yuru needs to place the pendant there. Yuru still looks lost, so Dara snaps and tells him to treat it like a damn offering. Yuru sprints over to do it, only to find the opening stuffed with debris. He starts clawing the junk out in a panic, but the snipers zero in on him. Their orders are clear: capture Yuru and eliminate everyone else. As bullets tear toward him, Yuru finally manages to slot the pendant into place. In that exact moment, Dara slams Yuru's face into the dirt, smashing him hard enough to draw blood everywhere. Yuru burns with anger, but his blood splashes across the pendant, and before the next round can be fired, the left and right statues flare to life. A blinding burst of light erupts, stunning the snipers, and their vehicle is suddenly under assault. Yuru stares in disbelief as bizarre entities materialize out of nowhere and start shredding the enemy forces. These beings aren't just strong, they're overwhelming. So the helicopters fall from the sky like broken toys. Yuru and Dara seize the opportunity to escape, while Gabby fumes in frustration. Seeing this shit, those helicopters were her ride back, and now she's stuck hiking down the damn mountain. As she fumes, she senses something else has appeared. She wonders whose demons those are and silently hopes they're nothing special. Not far away, Yuru and Da pull themselves out of the wreckage. A gravelly voice calls out to Left, remarking that their new master appears to be a kid. That seems reassuring to him since children should be easy to manipulate. Right immediately shuts that down, telling Left that age means nothing. Whatever happens, they are bound to obey their master. Yuru has absolutely no idea who these figures are, but they clearly understand him. He starts blurting out the different names people use for beings like them: ghosts, spirits, monsters, aberrations, even pairs. No one ever settled on one label because everyone calls them something different. Yuru stands there speechless as it turns out these demons are his own. That concludes this episode. Thank you for watching. If you want to see the next part, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell.